This video about Korean history and culture is distributed by Professor Yi Zonggu to the world. Please give a like for each part, which contains about 10 minutes of content. In this lecture, I will look at stringed instruments, such as the Haegeum, Geomungo, and Gayageum. These three instruments are pitched instruments that were first created and developed in Korea. The Haegeum is a very attractive instrument. It creates a sound like the wind, made by bowing the two silk strings with a bow made of horsehair. To play it, hold the bow with your right hand across the strings, and with your left hand holds the two strings at once to adjust the pitch. There are no pitch marks on the instrument, so performers find the pitch as if dancing with the sense of their fingers. The Haegeum is used in a wide variety of ways in different styles of music, ranging from court music to folk music and more recently popular music. It was named the Haegeum because it was an instrument made by the Hai people who lived near the Hai River. The Hai River is now known as the Liao River and is called the Siramurin River in Mongolian. However, in Korean, its name is the Hai River. The Hai River is a place where nomadic tribes such as the Hai people and the Khitan people lived. Although it is currently located in China, it was historically the land of Goguryeo. Along the upper reaches of the Hai River, located in the midwestern part of Goguryeo, ancient cultures such as the Haegeum lower upper culture and Hongsan culture developed. In addition, Baekje, a historical Korean kingdom, had colonies called Yoseogun and Jinpyeonggun near the Hai River from the 3rd to 7th centuries. And when the Yoseogun and Jinpyeonggun armies were defeated, their refugees fled to Baekje and Goguryeo. There are actual paintings that prove this at Naso Temple in Jeollabuk-do, Korea. For 1,400 years, painters who have received strict guidance from teachers and maintained a private lesson system have continued to maintain these paintings by adding more paint when the colors faded. Naso Temple was originally founded under the name Sorai Temple by the monk Haegeum in the 34th year of King Mu of Baekje, 633. Afterwards, it burned down in the late 16th century, but these painters restored it to its original appearance, and it has continued for another 500 years. About 400 years after these paintings were produced, a Chinese man named Jin Yang wrote a book called Akseo, which was like an encyclopedia of Oriental musical instruments, and it also said that the Haegeum was a northern barbarian instrument. The figure of the Haegeum was also drawn and handed down in this book, and it is similar to the painting at Naso Temple. A picture of the Haegeum resembling the instrument from Naso Temple also appears in the Akhak Gwebeom, published in Joseon in 1495. In addition, there is a painting of the Haegeum in China's Yulin Cave No. 3 from the early 11th century, but it is 600 years later than the Naso Temple paintings in terms of production date. The conclusion is that the Haegeum was an instrument of the Haegeum, who lived in the Hai River area of Gojoseon, and that the Hai River was near Yoseo Baekje. It has been confirmed that the Haegeum painting at Naso Temple was from the Baekje period, and that this is the oldest Haegeum icon in the world. For reference, it was thought that the Haegeum was a musical instrument introduced in the Song dynasty during the reign of King Yejong of Goguryeo. But this is false. The Haegeum is neither a Chinese instrument nor a Mongolian instrument, but a Korean instrument. This instrument inspired China's erhu, Turkey's kamancha, etc. The kamancha is the ancestor of the Western violin family. The Geomungo is a traditional Korean plucked zither with both bridges and frets. It is a representative stringed instrument made in Goguryeo before the 5th century. It has a range of nearly 2 octaves, the widest among traditional Korean instruments. The strings are plucked with a short bamboo plectrum called a suldae, chi. The sound is deep and strong, and scholars have cherished it as a tool to cultivate the path of music. The Geomungo originated in Goguryeo, which succeeded ancient Gojoseon and Buyeo in the late 7th century. Geomungo means Goguryeo Geum, Gaoju Li Qing. That is a musical instrument of Goguryeo. This is because the word Geomun means country in the ancient Korean language. Regarding the name Geomungo, the history of the Three Kingdoms states, "It is hard to believe that it is said that a black crane appeared at that time and danced to the music of the Geomungo." The word Jeong, or gam in Korean, during the old Gojoseon, Buyeo, and Goguryeo periods, encompassed the meanings of country, king, and god. The basic frame is a long box shape with the back panel made of chestnut wood and the front panel made of paulownia wood. The Geomungo consists of 6 strings made of silk thread wrapped around a sound box made of fret pieces of jujube wood. Lastly, I will describe the Gayageum. The Gayageum is probably the best-known traditional Korean instrument. It is a zither with 12 strings. According to the Samguk Sagi, History of the Three Kingdoms, completed in 1146, the Gayageum was developed around the 6th century after King Gasil of the Gaya Confederation observed the ancient Chinese musical instrument called the guzheng. He is said to have ordered a musician named Urayak. Each country has a different language, so how can music be the same? Make instruments and music that bring out the characteristics of Gaya. His comments stressed that we should make our own indigenous music, even though influenced by foreign countries. Urayak was a Gayageum player and an aksa. Aksa was the name of the highest government post of music institutions in charge of the Yaak in ancient East Asia. Not only in Gaya, but also in Baekje, Silla, Japan, Goguryeo, and Joseon, aksa was the official name of the highest government position of a musician in the royal family. After that, Gaya devolved into disarray. When Urayak lived, Gaya was bordered by Silla. At the time, Silla was a poorer country than Gaya, but it had a powerful military and coveted Gaya. However, Silla could not surpass Gaya in music and thus did not achieve their long-cherished wish. It is difficult to understand from today's view of music, but at the time, it was believed that music was not entertainment but a force that protected the country. Carrying his instrument and with 12 songs, Urayak asked King Jinheung, 534 to 576, in Silla if he could come to Silla, and was accepted. King Jinheung permitted him to stay in the government bureau and sent Denema Juji, Gyego, and Desa Mandeok to succeed Urayak. King Jinheung allowed him to stay in the government office, and he had 3 disciples. However, after learning Urayak's 12 songs, the disciples decided to eliminate 7 songs and maintain only 5 songs. The 7 songs were removed because they were obscene. This was another shame for Urayak, who lost his country. This was another humiliation for Urayak, who lost his country. Though Urayak was upset at first, after he listened to all 5 pieces, he said, "Even if you are happy, you will not pass by. And if you are sad, you will not fall into sorrow. You can play them in front of the king." The king was happy, but some of his subjects said, "It is not good for our country to take the music of a country that has already been destroyed." Then the king said, "The Gaya's king perished by himself. It is not the sin of music. Control and disarray of a country are not due to music." Finally, Urayak was designated as a great musician in Silla. The above statement about Urayak is extracted from the history of the Three Kingdoms. When Urayak lived, the Yaak philosophy, which taught of controlling a country with desirable sounds, was common in many countries in Northeast Asia. Since music was a political philosophy, each country tried to make better music than other countries. Under these circumstances, Urayak was likely lured or seized and taken to Silla. Gaya was a country located near the Nakdong River, which flowed from north to south in the southeastern part of the Korean peninsula. Based on the fertile plains downstream, it was established around 1 AD and fell in 562, meaning that Gaya stood for almost 600 years. It was destroyed earlier than other countries by Silla, the most backward country at the time, and the four-country system with Goguryeo, Baekje, and Silla ended. With its excellent Iron Age culture, Gaya could create a great instrument, the Gayageum. The Gaya people gave the instrument the name of the country and cherished it as a national instrument, so it remains Korea's representative stringed instrument today. The Sanjo Gayageum is believed to have evolved in the 19th century with the emergence of Sanjo music, which in Korean means scattered melodies, a musical form that involves fast tempos and some improvisation. The Sanjo Gayageum is an instrument made to respond to the rapid changes in music at the end of the 19th century and to be easy to carry. It is now the most widespread form of Gayageum. Thank you.